I wake up to the sound of my own voice, or maybe it's just the silence. Either way, it feels like the world has paused for a moment, and I'm the only one left standing.
Today is just another day, but somehow it feels like a milestone. A birthday, but not one I remember celebrating. Just me, alone in the quiet, thinking about where I've been and where I'm going. I don't know if it's the weight of time or the weight of expectations, but today feels different. Like the universe is asking me to look inward, to take stock of what's been built and what's still waiting to be. There's something oddly comforting about being alone on a birthday. No pressure, no performance. Just me in my space with my thoughts and the faint echo of my own voice in the distance. I guess that's the thing about birthdays. They're not just about time passing. They're about reflecting on what you've become and what you're becoming, even if you're not sure if you're doing it right. So here I am on this day, thinking about where I've been and where I'm going. And maybe, just maybe, I'm okay with it. So what exactly are we talking about? It's a birthday, but not just any birthday. It's a birthday for the sub, for the channel, for the space we've carved out in the noise. It's a moment of reflection, a quiet pause in the stream of content. A reminder that time passes, and the channel is no longer just a collection of videos. It's a living, breathing thing. It's a birthday that's not just about celebration. It's about gratitude, about acknowledging the journey, the ups and downs, the growth and the connection. So what are we really talking about? A birthday for the channel, but also a birthday for the idea that this space exists because of trust, because of care, because of shared time. It's a birthday that reminds us we're not just making content. We're building something real, something meaningful, something that matters. And so here we are. Happy birthday to me, I guess. Happy birthday to the channel. Happy birthday to the people who made it all possible. It's easy to think your life is a solo journey, but really, you're part of a bigger story. Every choice you make echoes through the lives of others, even if they never know. When you reflect on your path, you realize how much of it is shaped by the people you've met, the conversations you've had, and the moments you've shared, even if they were brief. The things you care about, the things that matter to you, they are not just about you. They're about the world you want to leave behind and the people who will carry it forward. So when you see someone else's story, even if it's just a birthday post, it's a reminder that you're not alone in this. You're part of a shared human experience. You should care because your story is connected to others. And even if you don't know it yet, your choices are shaping something bigger, something that matters. I remember the first time I hit 100 subscribers. It felt like a quiet thunderclap. I was sitting at my desk, coffee gone cold, staring at the number like it was a promise. Then came the first comment. It wasn't a shout, it wasn't a cheer, it was just there. A name, a message, a tiny step forward in a long, lonely journey. Over time, the numbers grew, but the silence stayed. I was making videos for people who weren't there. It felt like talking to ghosts, but I kept going. And then one day I looked up and realized I had a community. Not a crowd, not a mob, but people who showed up, even if they didn't say much. I used to think the goal was to be seen. Now I know it's about being heard, even if it's just by yourself in the quiet moments between the videos. Happy birthday to me. Not the birthday I expected, but the one I earned. A small, quiet celebration for a channel that grew from silence to something real. So the core idea is like when you're playing with your toys, and you build a tower. But then you realize the tower's not standing because the blocks are too heavy. You have to figure out what's holding it up and what's making it fall. It's like when you're trying to make a sandwich and you realize you forgot the bread. You have all the fillings, but without the bread, it's not a sandwich. You have to fix that before you can eat. The core idea is like when you're telling a story and you realize the ending doesn't match the beginning. You have to check where the story started and where it's going so it makes sense. It's like when you're drawing a picture and you realize the colors don't match. You have to go back and pick the right colors so everything looks like it belongs together. So the core idea is about checking what's holding things up, making sure everything fits together, and knowing when something's missing so you can fix it before it's too late. So it all starts with a simple idea, a birthday. Not just any birthday, but mine. It's a quiet, unassuming moment that somehow becomes the center of something bigger. The cake is the first sign of a celebration, but it's also a symbol of reflection, of time passing, of the strange way we mark the days we're still here. Then there's the message, a reminder that even in the chaos of life, someone still remembers. It's a small thing, but it carries a weight of connection. This message isn't just a birthday wish. It's an invitation to pause, to think, to consider where we are in this strange, beautiful journey. The setup is simple, but it's the beginning of something deeper. A conversation about identity, time, and the quiet moments that shape us. So the second step is the mechanism. It's like the gears that turn the whole thing, You can't just have a feeling, you need a way to make it move. It's the quiet part. The part where you're not just thinking, but doing. Like the hum of a machine that's just started, barely audible, but already in motion. This is where the energy shifts. From thought to action, from silence to rhythm. It's not loud, but it's present. It's the pulse beneath the surface. The mechanism is the bridge between the internal and the external. It's the moment you decide to let something out, to let something in. It's not about force, it's about alignment. The right tool, the right time, the right intent. And when it clicks, it's like a quiet revolution. So here's the twist, it's not just about the sub. It's about the people who make it work. The writers, the editors, the commenters, the lurkers, they're all part of this shared experience. This sub is like a living thing. It breathes, it grows, and it changes. You don't just read it, you become part of it, you feel it, you live it. The clever twist is that you're not just a viewer. You're a participant in something bigger. It's not just about the content, it's about the connection you make with others. This is what makes the sub special. It's not just the words on the page, it's the community, the shared understanding, the silent understanding that you're all in this together. So in the end, it's not just about me, it's about all of us. And that's what makes this place feel like home. There's something humbling about the way the universe hums. A quiet, steady rhythm beneath everything we think we know. Like the beat of my own heart, it's not just sound. It's the vibration of existence, the pulse of life in every atom and every thought. It's in the way the trees sway, the way the wind moves through the leaves, the way the world keeps turning even when we forget to look. The science beneath it all is not cold or distant. It's alive, breathing with us, and reminding us that we are part of something far greater. So when I say happy birthday to me, I'm not just celebrating a date. I'm celebrating the hum of the universe, the science of being alive. So imagine this, a kid with a birthday cake, but instead of candles there are just sticks. You light them, blow out, and then realize the cake is actually made of cardboard. It's dumb, but it's kind of accurate. It's like being the host of a party you never asked for, where everyone's just pretending they care. You blow out the candles, but you know the cake is going to be eaten by the dog anyway. You're the one who set up the whole thing, but you're also the one who's never really sure if anyone's actually paying attention. It's like a birthday, but for the sub. It's a celebration of nothing, and that's kind of everything. So here's to you, the sub. Happy birthday to me, I guess. Or maybe it's just a reminder that sometimes the most absurd things are the most accurate. And that's okay. There's a part that sounds made up but isn't. Like when I say I used to think I could do this alone. It's not a script. It's just the truth, buried under years of noise and silence. I remember the day I first realized I wasn't alone. It wasn't a moment. It was a quiet shift in the air, like the world finally letting me breathe again. It's not about the grand gestures. It's about the small, steady things. Like showing up again and again, even when the world says you're not worth it. That part about I used to think I could do this alone, it's not a lie. It's a confession. And it's the first step towards something real. So when I say it, I'm not making it up. I'm remembering. And maybe, just maybe, I'm inviting you to remember too. You're going to want to see this. The Fire TV Stick 4K streaming device, link and QR code are right on screen and down in the description. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Myth number 1 is that I'm a failure. But failure isn't a label, it's a process. I'm not failing, I'm just learning how to be better. People look at the end result and see a broken path, but they don't see the steps I've taken to get there. Every drop of sweat counts. I've made mistakes, sure, but I've also made progress. The only thing that matters is the work I'm doing right now, not the past I can't change. So let's not talk about failure. Let's talk about growth. Because that's what this is really about, trying to be better every single day. You think this sub is just a place to post memes and wait for likes. That's the myth. But here's the truth, it's a space where people come to feel seen, even when the world feels loud. Every comment, every upvote, every reaction, it's not just about the numbers, it's about connection. And sometimes that connection is all you need to keep going. This sub is more than a platform, it's a refuge, a place where you don't have to be perfect, just present. And sometimes that's enough. So when you think the sub is just a place for memes, remember, it's also a place for meaning. And sometimes, meaning is the only thing that keeps you from falling apart. It's not just about the cake or the party. It's about the quiet moments when you look in the mirror and realize you're still here, still breathing, still you. You don't have to shout it out loud. Sometimes the most meaningful things are said in silence, in the way you sit with yourself, in the way you take a breath and let it out. You don't have to be loud to be heard. Sometimes the quietest moments are the loudest, the most honest, the most real. This is where you are right now. In the stillness, in the silence, in the space between breaths, this is where you live. You're not just surviving. You're existing, and that's enough. You're here, you're alive, and that's something to be grateful for. I remember one time I was working on a project that felt like it would never end. It was a small thing, but it carried a lot of weight for me. I was alone in the apartment, surrounded by papers and coffee cups, and I just wanted to scream. Then I got a message from someone I hadn't spoken to in months. They said they were thinking of me and that they believed in what I was doing. That message changed everything. It wasn't just words, it was a lifeline. Sometimes the hardest things are the ones that come from within. You have to trust that someone else is watching, even when you're not sure you're being watched. That's the real power of this work. It's not just about sharing, it's about being found. And that's why, even when things feel heavy, I keep going. Because sometimes the most important thing you can do is be seen. And sometimes that's the only thing that keeps you going. There's a moment in the middle of this when the noise isn't just loud, it's alive. It's like the sub is breathing, pushing back, defying the silence of the world outside. You can feel it in your bones. This thing isn't just moving, it's fighting. It's screaming in a language only the ocean understands, and we're listening. You can't hear it in the water, but you can feel it in your chest. This is a place where the rules are different, where time doesn't move the same way and fear isn't just a feeling, it's a pressure. And then, just when you think you know what this thing is, it does something unexpected. It doesn't just go deeper, it becomes something else. Something beyond the limits of what you thought possible. This is what it means to push the limits. Not just of technology, but of the human spirit. To go where no one has gone before, and to come back with a story that will never be told in full. Sometimes the best laid plans don't survive the first hiccup. A server crash, a typo in the code, and suddenly everything you built is just a blank screen. You're scrambling, trying to fix it, but the more you rush, the more things fall apart. It's like watching a house of cards collapse, and you're the only one who can't stop it. The silence after the crash is deafening. You're alone with your thoughts, and for a moment you're not just a developer, you're a failure, a mistake, a broken system. But then, in the stillness, you remember why you started. Not for the perfection, but for the chance to create something, even if it's just a little piece of the world. The worst moments aren't the crashes, they are the silence before the fix. And even then, the real test isn't the problem, but how you respond to it. There's a kind of pride in being alone, but it's not the kind that feels like a celebration. It's the quiet kind, the one that comes with a cup of coffee and a blank page. Sometimes, the best kind of birthday is the one that doesn't make a sound. You don't need a chorus of voices or a cake with candles. You just need to be here, breathing, thinking. The downside nobody puts on the brochure is the loneliness that comes with being a creator. You pour your heart into something, and sometimes no one's there to catch it. You build a world, but sometimes the world doesn't respond. You speak and no one listens. You write and no one reads. You live and no one remembers. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the beauty of it is that you don't need anyone else's approval. You just need to keep going, even when the silence is louder than the music. So here we are, sitting in the quiet of a room that feels like a spaceship, with the hum of the internet as our engine, and the weight of time as our compass. We've come a long way from the first flicker of a pixel on a screen. It's humbling to think about how humans, with their messy, chaotic minds, managed to figure out the rules of the universe, and then build a world around them. It's like they took a chaotic storm and made a cathedral out of it. They built cities out of sand, wrote stories out of silence, and discovered the secrets of the cosmos by staring at the stars. It's a testament to their persistence, their wonder, and their ability to imagine something greater than themselves. But in all of that, they never lost the spark of curiosity. They asked, what if, and then made it real. That's the kind of courage that turns dreams into reality. So here we are on this birthday of the sub, thinking about how far we've come, and how much farther we could go. It's a reminder that the journey is just as important as the destination. There's this one thing I've noticed: sometimes the best moments aren't planned. They just show up like a gift wrapped in a mystery. Like when you're halfway through a conversation and suddenly the words don't matter anymore. It's not the message, but the silence between them that holds the truth. Or when you're scrolling through comments and suddenly, out of nowhere, something feels off. Like the universe has shifted just enough to make you question everything. It's like the world is playing a trick on you, not a cruel one, but a quiet, strange one. And you're just standing there, laughing, not sure if you're in on it or not. In those moments, you realize that life isn't about control. It's about showing up, even when you're not sure what you're going to find. What if we didn't just use the system to make things better, but to bend it, to twist it, to make it do things it wasn't built for? That's the thought experiment, isn't it? A test of what the system might become if we stopped trying to fix it and started trying to break it. It's not about destruction for destruction's sake. It's about seeing the system not as a tool, but as a living thing, something that can be manipulated, reshaped, and maybe even corrupted. What happens when we start being its caretaker and start being its jailer? It's a dangerous game, but it's also one that's been played for centuries. People have always tried to outsmart the system, to break it, to find its weaknesses. What if we didn't just try to break it, but to take it apart and rebuild it in our own image? The question isn't whether we can abuse the system, it's whether we should. And if we do, what kind of world are we going to leave behind? One that's broken, or one that's been reshaped by the very people who built it? Maybe the real question isn't about what we can do with the system. Maybe it's about what we're willing to become in the process. Because once you start playing with the rules, there's no going back. The system becomes a mirror, and you become what you see in it. I think about how this sub is like a birthday party I never asked for, but somehow ended up hosting. It's not the kind of party where people bring gifts or sing songs, but it's full of voices, laughter, and a sense of belonging. It's like being the guest of honor at a gathering you didn't plan, but somehow everyone shows up with something to say. Some of it is heartfelt, some of it is strange, and a lot of it feels like it's coming from a place of need. There's a kind of comfort in the chaos, like being wrapped in a blanket that's too big but still warm. It's not about perfection, it's about connection, even if it's awkward or uncertain. Little sponsor break, check out the Kindle Paperwhite e-reader. There's a QR code on screen and a link below to see it. Now subscribe and let's keep going. This sub isn't just a place for people to share their stories. It's a kind of sanctuary, even if it's built out of shared pain and shared hope. It feels like a home I never expected to find, but somehow I'm still here. In a way, it's like a birthday. Not one I planned, but one that's still worth celebrating. Not for the cake or the presents, but for the fact that I'm still here, still listening, still showing up. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.